ataddeko Deus Media UG ate njagala beebaza kubanga mutyoningako buli lunaku okuviira ddala ssaawa emu paka ssaawa 3 ziba 3 n'ekitundu. Tuba twogera ku nsonga ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, otadde political issues, developmental issues, economic issues n'ensonga nyingi nga zisobola kutuzimba ngaffe Abannayuganda. Ate ngenda kubanga nkuwa security alerts osobole kubeera nga oyita mu mbeera nga oli safe ate oli secure mu mirimu gy'okola at your workplace, when you are going to work, when you are coming from work. Zino security alerts ziri very crucial ate zisobola kubeera nga zikuleetera okufuna obulamu obweyagaza. Okay, first of all, I would like to appreciate you all, those who are in Western Uganda, those who are in Central Uganda, those who are in Northern Uganda, those who are tuning from Eastern Uganda, those ones in Rwanda, those ones in America and other parts of the world. I really appreciate you and I salute you all in your given capacities. Tugenda kuba twogera ku nsonga ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga Uganda, political issues, security issues, security alerts. Tugenda kwogera ku sectors ez'enjawulo, industrial sector, twogere ku education sector, twogere ku tourism n'ebirala bingi. So you keep on watching until the end. Do what? Subscribe, liking eno live stream, ate tubeere nga tugenda maaso n'okuweereza. Okay, security alert. Njagala kusooka nkutegeeze nti there are a lot of criminals ate there is a suspected gun that is stolen at a police station. Waliwo gange eyajja nesobola kubeera nga etwala emundu. You know what it means. Katugeze omuntu nga ze in your room nga ayina emundu. That one is a very hard situation. Kati kigambibwa nti waliwo emundu 2 ezibbiddwa by the criminal gangs. Waliwo ganga ezze nesobola kubeera nga etwala emundu z'abasirikale from the police people ate nesobola kubeera nga ezitwala nga tebamanyi gangs zino we ziraze. What is the risk of that? Esookera ddala, these gangs can involve in crimes like stealing. Basobola okujja ne basalako ennyumba yo nga bakozesa emundu okutiisa ate n'okomekereza nga oluzinze properties. So that is a very tough situation taking place in the country. Ate be aware. How can you prevent yourself from being stolen? Ntimanyi mwina amageeti, kati omuntu abbye emundu aba atagetinga bagagga, aba atagetinga abantu abasente. Most people they muli bagagga naye you use labors at home. Mubeera n'abakozi ewaka ate these bano abakozi babeera careless nnyo. Osanga nti omukozi omulose ewaka geeti agirese nga agiggudde. Omulese ewaka tali caring about security. So abakozi bano muina okubayigiriza. When you bring your labor at home or a worker, kyosookera ddala kwe kumunyonyola engeri gye mutambuzaamu ebintu byammwe. Ekisookera ddala, first teach the labor or worker security. Tell him or her how they close the gate. Tell him or her how they close minor gates and everything. Kubanga security kintu kikulu. If you don't have security, there's no way how you can protect your property. If you don't have security at home, let's say get your sense gule, people can come in and take your property, not ku zero. So endeavor to train people that work for you to close properly. Enyumba yo ebeere enzigale, ate ne gates zo zibeere enzigale, because these criminal gangs are targeting rich people. Ate kyekyo ekirala nti these people, since they are targeting rich people, bw'oba ovuga emmotoka ng'odde ewaka, ky'olina okukola is like these windows, side windows, some people are very careless nti kubanga emmotoka terina AC, you should always put them up, pull them security wise, because if someone finds you with an open window car, can easily capture you, ate n'asobola kubeera ng'akugyamu ensimbi z'ayagala kugyamu. So keep in mind, ate another security alert, avoid walking at night, too late in the night. It is not safe. We know we have a lot of works that we undertake. Some of us, we are students, we study at night. Some of us, we come from our jobs when we are late, we come even past midnight. So if you are encountering such situation where you are coming from work past midnight, make sure that you have someone to walk with. Make sure that you have someone to walk with. Kubanga gangs are very, very many. Banji. Ate gangs bano, ebuzibu obuliwo nti they even have real guns. Bw'oba tolina ssente, ayinza n'okukutta as the next option. So to avoid this, olina kubeera nga muwalkingira mu group. If you are coming from work at night, get your friends nga muwalkingira mu group so that you are safe and secure. So gangs bano, ekisookera ddala, for them they are homeless people. Tebalina mutima gwa buntu, like saying, let me have pity to someone. Ate ekirala trick gye nsobola okukuwa, when you are working at night, make sure that you have some money. Make sure that you have some money. These gangs, now let me tell you some story. I was working at around 11:30, and I had my 20k. I had left my phone at home. I was hurrying to meet someone somewhere. Now, when I was going, I found a group of 4 people, all of them putting blacks. 2 people were covering even the face. They had to say, where is your phone? Remember, I never had any phone in my bag. They had to check me, I had no phone. They had to check me everywhere. They said, where is money? They had to slap me. So what I did, I said, bro, forgive me, I have 20k. Is it enough for you? What they did, when I gave them 20k, they said, okay, you go. So this one is also a trick, because the mission is you might lose life or money. So if you move with money and you find a gang, it means that you can easily give them the money and you go away safely. For us at campus, there is our classmate who fell into a gang, had a laptop, a phone, and some money. So when he fell into these gangs, they asked him, bring the bag. The man refused. Never do that, my friend. They said, you bring the bag. The man said, no, I won't bring the bag. Do you know what they did to him? Remember, they had these iron bars. They had very strong sticks. They had, if they first banged him. By the time we took him to the hospital, he even never knew what is taking place on the earth. So that is criminal, but you can't prevent it in the country because it is normal. Even America is experiencing the same thing. Even our neighbors here are experiencing the same thing. Every country that is developed, there is a group of people who are actively working to destroy peace, to make crimes, because we are not all serious people. Some people don't want to work, they want free things. So for you who has worked, you should always keep your security safe. In most cases, when you are living around town, that one is security alert. 2 guns have been stolen in the country. You need to be aware of your own safety first, because life can go in a day and you find that you no longer have life and you find yourself dead. So take this note. Another security alert: there are three men. 2 are putting on black, and another one is putting on a red trouser and a black shirt, and the 2 are covering their own face. One is putting on a cape. They have been noticed that these people, they made a gang that moves from one street to another stealing phones. So they have been making investigations about these people, and when they reached their rooms where they stay, because they had to bring police people, and police people called these people, took them to police to start making investigations. When they made investigations, they found out that these people, they had a bunch, like 1,000 phones. They had like 1,000 phones, and these phones, they were stolen around the areas of Kampala, here around Nankulaville, that side of Mengo and the rest. So if you lost your phone, it's very okay to go and check for it. But now the challenge is that these people, when they were taken to the police, they had to disappear. I don't know whether they dealt with the police people or they dealt with the police office, I don't know. But by the time they tried to bring them out, they had already moved out. So that is a very big challenge. It means that we still have thieves, and you will know that people steal phones, people steal laptops every day, every night. So your safety should be first. And another thing, some people walk with phones at night. It is very risky. It is very, very risky if you are walking with your phone at night, mostly, especially when you are moving in corridors, in those unsafe areas. You'll find out that there are gangs of people who always follow people who have phones, and they will snatch it. I tell you, there are some people who even move in taxi with their phones. You are in a taxi, you are near a window, and the window is open, and you are talking on phone. So there is a high possibility that they can even snatch your phone when you are in a taxi. So that is a security alert. You have a lot of time for pressing your phones at home, so don't walk at home, on the way when you are pressing phones. It is very risky. Don't press your phones in taxis when you are seated near the window. It will harm you, and it might end up you losing your phone, and you will be in trouble. Now there is another security alert whereby there are people who use big companies or they beeta amanya ga companies, let's say Airtel, MTN, ne bakubira ne bagamba nti bagenda kuggalawo line yo. They are going to close your line. They are going to, maybe they have sent you money, they say your money will be taken, so press this and this to do this and this and get more money, or even to prevent your money from going, or even maybe to increase. There are some people bakugamba nti tulaba wano ku line yo bakutereddeko $200. Bw'oba oyagala okwongera ku ssente zeezo zifuuke $40, you press this and this and this. And because you lack exposure, some people even end up losing the small money that they have on their phones. So avoid engaging in those things. Byebakugamba gwe just bajjeko bujji, oba you leave them to call until they do what? They get tired. So some people have been found victims of such cases and they have lost a lot through such things. Alright. Kakati amawulire agagenda mu maaso, it's that omukyala w'omukulembeze w'eggwanga gwe bayita Janet Museveni asobodde kubeera nga adda wano e Uganda ate alabikako on ground abantu abasinga kye babadde tebasuubira. Most people have not been expecting that, because there are a lot of words which have been there are a lot of words people have been talking about the Janet Museveni, most especially when they had to bring Muyingo as the acting minister of education. Abantu bavaayo ne boogera ebigambo bingi ku Janet Museveni when they made Muyingo an acting minister of education. Remember, Muyingo was a minister for higher education. Ate ne bamujjayo ne bamugamba is the acting minister of education and sports. Abantu bavaayo ne bagamba ate Janet ye minister of education and sports. Kati bayingizaawo Muyingo, kyogamba basobola okugyawo Muyingo ne bateekako, kumbe Janet takyalabikako. Now njagala kugamba nti Janet Museveni is back, akomyewo, ate is in a very nice and sound situation. Ate babadde mu fellowship nga they are thanking God. The first family has been thanking God, first of all, for the life of the Janet Museveni. Ate ne baddamu ne thanking God for being a Christian family. So the first family, ate ne baddamu ne appreciating God for having a bishop in the family. Bishop Patience is coming from the first family. Janet Museveni avuddeyo n'agamba nti obudde bwe yasinkaniramu Museveni yamusanga nti tamanyi even praying, nga bwe kuba kwebaka bw'aba avudde ku mulimu avaayo ne yeebaka bwebasi nga talina mamu yadde akabibibi ak'eddiini, just ye kyamanyi to live a life which is not in the God's line. Ate azemu na ikwitiramu story nti Janet Museveni was praying a lot okulaba nti addawo n'aba bulungi. Ate that's why they were giving thanks to God and appreciating God for her life. Waliwo minister avudde America najja on Thanksgiving for Janet Museveni ate ayina ebigambo bingi byayogedde that in 2086 yajjako mu Uganda wano. In 2086 yajjako mu Uganda ate ajjukira bulungi embeera eyali e Uganda wano before the coming of President Museveni. Remember, peace and stability wano mu Uganda, if you are above 40 years, you will know obulamu engeri gye bwalimu, nti basobola okujja ne bakujja mu nnyumba yo ne bakukuba amasasi, ab'ebijambiya baali bangi, ate government was not democratic, kubanga okujjako omukulembeze omupya before 2000 by the way, okujjako omukulembeze omupya it was through war, nga tewali kalulu, tewali eyalonda Idi Amin Dada okujja ku ntebe, tewali eyalonda Obote 1 ne Obote 2 okujja ku ntebe, tewali eyalonda abasajja abo. So what does it mean? There was no democratic government. Government yali ejja through a war. Nga President Museveni bw'aba alemedde ku ntebe, ate Bobi Wine ayagala kujja ajjewo Museveni nga yeetaaga ki? Yeetaagisa mundu. There is no any other option. There was no any other option by that time. Ate bana abakulembeze bw'oba olaba nti from the time we got our independence up to 1986 waliwo abakulembeze bangi nnyo, waliwo abakulembeze bangi, because the person who has weapons and powers to remove the president automatically becomes the president. Kakati democratic government eyina engeri gye yasavingamu obulamu, ate ne population bw'oba olaba by that time it was very low. The whole of Western Uganda was full of forests before 1986. There was only one road that is passing connecting Kampala to Western Uganda, that is Kampala Fort Portal Road, and it was not tarmacked. There were only 3 buses that used to move from Kampala to Western Uganda before 1986. So it was very hard for this country to develop, and there was no privatization. In front there I'm going to explain what privatization is, but a simple way to understand privatization is like omuntu okuvaayo na owning essomero, omuntu okuvaayo na owning a radio station, omuntu okuvaayo na owning a, let's say, industry. Before 1986 yali tewali privatization, ng'omuntu tasobola kubeera n'essomero, omuntu tasobola kubeera ne industry, okujjako omuntu asobola abeera mu ggwanga like that, nga n'okutandikawo business in this country was not easy, kubanga ebintu byonna byali biri owned by the government. Ate before 1986 yali waliwo radio station yemu gye bayita Uganda FM. Can you imagine, in the whole country Uganda there was only one radio station, that is Radio Uganda. Ate waliwo abakulembeze bangi nti they use this as a chance okuvaayo ne bawamba Radio Uganda eyo ne beerangirira as the presidents of the country, kubanga abantu tebabeera ne information eryawo nti basobola ogibeesingirako, ne information okutransferinga faster yali teriiwo, nga information okugifuna it takes time. The person in Kampala in 1986 to communicate to a person, let's say, who is in Western Uganda, It used to take 2 weeks. And this is the way how they used to do it. First of all, there was no phones. Gana amasimu gemubeera nago nti communication. Eno communication line ya building wa mwaka gw'2006 bwe ba building a communication line. Kakati by that time there were no phones. Amasimu gali tegaliiwo. There were only post office. If you want to send information from Kampala to Fort Portal, you pass through the Kampala Fort Post Office, you put there your letter, then they used to put stamps. If each stamp is bought like, let's say 500. If you put a stamp 500, if you buy more stamp, that means it's the way how your letter will be moved faster and faster and faster, and that's how communication was conducted. If you go write your letter, pass through the post office. In the post office, you go and buy stamps. The letter with more stamps will move faster compared to the letter with less stamps. So the person who buys more stamps, that letter will move faster more than the letter which has no stamps. And that was 1978. Communication yali eri difficult nnyo nga tosobola communicating just nga bwe communicating wano through phones, through what. There were no television zaali teziriiwo. So communication was very, very, very hard and difficult. Bwe bakugamba nti wano mu Kampala there were forests, eyo gy'olaba ebizimbe eby'amaanyi byali bibira. The people were few. The population of Uganda was very few. Why? Fight for power. Abantu baali bafa, and people died more and more and more and more and more and more. Health sector, there was, in fact, the Ministry of Health was not here in Uganda. It was just introduced. So bw'oba olaba nti kuviira ddala 1964, from 1964 up to 1980, you see that health was dominated by a company called Dynafarm. So the Dynafarm is the one which was responsible for supplying drugs to the local people. And remember, the population was less, so Dynafarm failed. Said, Uganda is not having market for drugs. Kakati Dynafarm tokyagiwulira. So in fact, the Uganda for 1964 tugigeraageranye ne Congo, the way how Congo is full of forests, no roads, no industries, not peaceful, always in wars. Kakati omuzungu nakugambye nti 1980 abantu baali bafiira ku street ne bafa nga teri abaziika. Embwa or dogs, they are the ones which used to eat the bodies of dead people. And that was our country, Uganda. Ate I appreciate nze nnyo General Yoweri Museveni for keeping peace and stability. Kakati President Museveni alina ekintu kya introducing mu Uganda kye bayita privatization. Privatization kitegeeza nti omuntu gwe oba nze mbeera able oku-owninga industry, mbeera able oku-owninga amalwaliro. Privatization, eggwanga liba likukkiriza okubeera n'eddwaliro, ne likukkiriza n'okubeera n'essomero, ne likukkiriza n'okubeera ne industry. Kati kyova olaba nti amasomero agasinga in Uganda we have more schools compared to government schools. Private schools are more than government schools. Why? Because of privatization. Ogenda sanga one person has 8 schools. Like St. Lawrence, there are almost 8 St. Lawrences. So privatization egenze neyayingira eggwanga Uganda ate nereetawo development, nereetawo growth. Ate yensonga lwaki olaba nti in Uganda we are at least trying to develop compared to other countries. Wano mu Uganda we are developing more than other countries. Kakati amawulire amalala agaliwo, His Excellency Bobi Wine muyite center mu Kyagulanyi nga asinzidde mu ggwanga lye bayita United States. Avuddeyo n'agamba nti the 2031 general elections agenda kubanga adda neyesimbawo ku bwa president of Uganda. That's a very good news for the opposition. Mwenna abali mu opposition mwino kitegeera nti that one is a very very nice and a very wonderful news from His Excellency Bobi Wine. Okay. Ate ekirala ekigenda mu maaso is that intern doctors are going to be given their 1 million. Intern doctors are going to be given their allowance. Omanyi Ministry of Health yavaayo negamba nti intern doctors are not supposed to get the 1M allowance, and it really hurt me. Why? Intern doctors do a lot of work okubeezaawo eggwanga lino in the health sector. Many people think that without health sector we might bring a drop in economic sector. Bw'oba oyina omulimu gw'okola, I would like to ask you a question. Can you go to work when you are sick? It is automatic that you cannot go to work when you are sick. So intern doctors babajjako salary yaabwe ey'okufuna 1 million per month. So intern doctors bali babajjako salary ya 1 million per month nga bagamba nti they should work for free when they are investing a lot of money mu maje agatayina even any importance. Uganda has almost like 200,000 troops. Ate buli musirikale ayina okulya, ayina okwebaka, ate ayina okubeera ne salary. So sente zino, instead of putting them into doctors, abasawo, they are very very important to the country because they are the ones who save lives, who save pregnant mothers, increasing the population, ne tubeera na labor ey'okuwakinga mu sectors ez'enjawulo, ate ne tusobola okubeera nga tufuna development mu ggwanga. So intern doctors babadde babajjako akasalary, naye kati basobodde okubeera nga babazaawo ku salary yaabwe, ate ne basobola kubeera nga babaza ku salary ya 1M per month. That is a very good situation. Ate njagala nsoke nku sensitizing emu nti bw'oba olina omwana w'omusawo nti ayagala okusoma obusawo, radiology medicine, ayagala medicine and surgery, ayagala let's say clinical medicine, look no further, just look for the institute called Ernest Cook University. Osobola okuleetayo omwana wo n'asoma radiological medicine ate n'asobola kubeera nga asoma scanning n'ebintu ebirala mu ggwanga wano. Ate they get courses at bachelor's level and at degree level. Ate osobola kubeera nga obasearchingako ku website n'osobola okubeera nga otwalayo omwana wo. Now we are going to talk about the education system in Uganda. As per now, education system njagala kugamba nti kindergarten mwabagyeterawo. Kindergarten is not part of the education system mu Uganda. Bano ba nursery because government yavaayo negamba nti temuddamu ku graduating abaana ba nursery nti mubawa gowns. Don't do it again. Ekitegeeza nti eyo kindergarten is like a home or just kukuumirayo abaana. So from primary 1 to primary 7 ebitutwala ku ssomero ekisingira ddala, to go to school, we go there to learn language n'okutegeerako katono. Kakati njagala ku extending a thanks to the Ministry of Education. Bakoze omulimu gw'amaanyi kubanga for us in secondary we used to waste a lot of time. We used to study theory more than practical. Otuuka mu kiraasi ne bakusomesa ne bakuwa formula n'obikraminga n'ojjayo 90 abaana ne bakuyita omugezi. But now the education sector has pulled the university education of approaching things. Omwana wa secondary kati bamuyigirizanga wa campus. Ensoma y'omwana wa secondary mu Uganda eri ensoma y'omwana owa campus, oba ali Makerere University oba ali Kyambogo University. They are studying the same way, nga theory mutono ate practical mungi. What does it mean? Omwana bw'afuna practical knowledge, remember practical knowledge ye determining life after school, si theory. Kubanga omusawo singa bamuyigiriza theory yakwata empiso ne batamuyigiriza practical engeri gy'asobola okikola, kitegeeza nti asobola okugraduatinga nga musawo n'omutwala mu ddwaliro okuzaalisa mukyalawo nga tasobola. Asobola fuluma nga engineer n'omutwala ku site okusetinga ekizimbe nga tasobola na kisetinga. Osobola omujjayo mu ssomero agraduatinze accountant, naye nga bw'omugamba you start for me a database, osobola okunteeramu eno information onfulumize account nga takisobola. So primary education has involved more practical more than theory, and that's what the Ministry of Education has been fighting for over and over again. Nti mu secondary omwana bw'aba ayagala kuyiga tusobole kubeera nga tumuyigiriza in a very practical way rather than okubeera mu theory. n'ebintu ebirala. Nzijukira we used to study chemistry. They tell you the chemical formula for this and this is Na2O. Ate olabira ddala nti they are not adding up. Nti bye bakuyigiriza mu kirasi, there is no way you can even apply them in your daily life. So obeera awo nga education system eggwanga lye likuwa nga tesobola kukusobozesa okubeera nga ogenda mu maaso oba you get any important thing from it. Kyova olaba omuntu bw'amaliza S4 edda before the new curriculum ne bw'agenda just kyaba asobola okukola is kukwata enkumbi n'adda mu nnimiro ze okulima nga talina any other skill that he can get from it. But according to the new curriculum of education, olabira ddala nti it teaches you how to do practical works, baking, making shop. Ng'omwana ne bw'amaliza S4 aba asobola kubeera ne skill gy'asobola okwekolera ye nga ye, ate n'esobola omukolera ssente ezisobola omubeezaawo, compared to the past years where we used to study theory. You finish S6 nga tosobola even omaze S6 naye you don't have even any practical skill gy'osobola okwekolera mu bulamu bwo. Nga ne bwe bakugamba nti baking a cake tosobola, ne bwe bakugamba nti making shop tosobola, naye mu kirasi you used to even write nice procedures of making soap, naye nga tebagenze eri mu deep practical thinking of what you talk, of what you are taught. So osanga omwana nti amaze S6 naye nga talina skill yonna gyafunye, ate has even taken science subjects, biology, atutte chemistry, n'atwala physics, naye nga okufuluma wali nga still talina skill yonna gy'ayina. It is really hurting, naye njagala kugamba nti I appreciate the new curriculum compared to old curriculum. In fact, my suggestion is omwana bw'amaliriza primary atulemu n'abazadde, they talk, baveeyo ne idea. Bw'aba ayagala kufuuka musawo agende mu busawo, bw'aba ayagala kufuuka engineer agende afuuke engineer, atandike okusomera ddala ekyo ky'ayagala. And that's how China has overcome poverty, ate ne economic development neyeyongerako mu ggwanga lya China because of the way how education sector engeri gye yali changed ne kye yafuuka. So osangira ddala nti omwana amaze S6 nga ayina skill gy'amanyi, ate abeerako ne kyakola. If he's an engineer, you find that he's able to build houses, nice houses. If he's a doctor, is able to treat people. If he's a teacher, is able to teach. Kubanga aba amaze obudde bungi nga akola the same thing over and over and over again. That's all about education. Ate, let me hope that since our Minister of Education is back in the country, we are very, very glad that our minister is back. There is going to be a lot of improvement. Jukira nettu abali bazijjawo because of accidents. Attend a new curriculum, bali bagala extending up to S6 level. So you see that everything is moving on and on. Well, ate tugenda kubanga tukuwa byonna ebigenda mu maaso wano mu ggwanga. Alex Mukulu ow'emyaka 7 olunaku lwa leero basobodde kubeera nga bamuziika bulungi, ate agenze kusinkana omutonzi we amuwadde emyaka 7 egy'obukulu. Can you imagine? Asobodde kubeera nga agenda kusinkana omutonzi we. Alex Mukulu agenze sinkana omutonzi we, ate now is elite. Ate twebaza Mukama kubanga amuwadde emyaka 7. We don't know that this Alex Mukulu, we never even expected it, kubanga ekirwadde kyabadde struggling nakyo n'engeri gyabadde mu ddwaliro gye bayita kiruddu, nga talya, nga tanywa, nga aliira mu nseke. So we really thank God nti asobodde kubeera nga amuwa emyaka 7, ate even the burial was conducted very well. Even Katikiro of Uganda praised him for what he has been doing in the music industry, because abadde CEO, abadde writer, abadde founder wa Playwright Uganda. So bintu bingi byakoze mu bulamu. Omuntu nga gwe oba omuntu nga nze yandivuddeyo n'agamba nti I would wish to be like Alex Mukulu. Ebigambo bye bamwogeddeko bibadde omuntu yenna yandiyagadde at least babyogereko ng'afudde, because they were all encouraging words, they were all good words, nga be praising omuntu afudde. Ate I know God has secured a place for Alex Mukulu in heaven. Alex Mukulu yafiira mu ddwaliro lye bayita Kiruddu Hospital. If you know that hospital, it's a hospital nga with intense care. Bw'oba otuuseeyo basobola okuwa care ennungi eyeeyagaza, ate n'ofuna life. Naye asobodde kubeera nga assa ogw'enkomerero and is no more. Yakola course gye bayita Music, Dance and Drama, Bachelors of Music, Dance and Drama. Ate yagikolera wano ku Makerere University. Alex Mukulu did a course called Music, Dance and Drama. Singa wali omaze S6 ne bakugamba go and do Music, Dance and Drama, njagala ombuulire, could you go and do it? But this man, because he had passion and love for music, dance and drama, he had to go for it. Ate kyoba olaba nti aperforminze bulungi, ate asobodde kubeera nga yeekolera erinnya like any other person lyeyandiyagadde okukola mu music industry. Kakati mukyala wa Besigye gwe bayita Winnie Byanyima, jjukira ono ye mukyala wa Dr. Kano Besigye, avuddeyo n'annyonnyola ensonga lwaki President Museveni awalana nnyo ate ateekako criminal cases ku musajja ono gwe bayita Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye. Agambye nti gwali mwaka gwa 2000 nga bagenda mu kalulu ka 2021. They were in 2000, they are going for the 2001 general elections. Kakati awo Besigye yali part of NRM nga muwagizi wa NRM nga alaga nti ayagala NRM, naye yavaayo n'alangirira in public nti agenda kwesimbawo omusajja gwe bayita General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in 2001. Ate Besigye yeewandiisa with Electoral Commission n'agamba nti ngenda kwesimbawo. Why? Yali ayina ensonga ze ye ng'omuntu. Ekisookera ddala Besigye yali omu ku abo abantu abaali great friends ate balina omukwano ogw'amaanyi ku General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So since he was a friend to the president was surprised. Nagamba, my friend, someone whom I trust, someone who I love, ate je anesimbewo. So Museveni was surprised. Nagamba, you are a triad. Besigye bamuyita triad. Ne bagamba aliddemu NRM olukwe. It cannot happen. Besigye ne bamugamba lwaki oliddemu NRM olukwe, and that was 2001. Ate ne yesimbawo, competed with General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, though Museveni ye yasinga akalulu, n'asinga bulungi. Ate even in 2006 n'addamu ne yesimbawo ku bwa president. So bazze nga Besigye bamuteekako crimes ez'enjawulo, muli rape, treason, murder. Ate n'abantu abaali bakolera Besigye nabo baali batulugunyizibwa. Bino ebintu si byakati nti Bobi Wine yali mu kutulugunyizibwa. It is not new. Even the people who used to work with Besigye, they were murdered, they were abducted, ne babuzibwawo. Ate basement is just a new term, naye basements zo zaali weeziri even before elections. Nti bwe bakukwata nga bakuyinamu interest, they take you to a place where no one knows. So ndowooza mujjukira omusajja gwe bayita Sam Mugumya. Sam Mugumya was a political activist. Ate yali akola ne Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye. Mu 2024 Sam Mugumya yabuzibwawo. Up to now tumanyi gyali. Allegations zigamba nti yakwatibwa mu prison oba mu basement ya barracks. Naye 8 years later baali bamukwatidde mu ggwanga lye bayita Congo. For 8 years yali mu prisons za Congo, nga Uganda emusibidde mu Congo. Tebaagala adde wano Uganda. Abannayuganda ne bavaayo. That was 2016. Ne badda ku street to protest for Sam Mugumya's life to be returned. Ate when the people protested, Sam Mugumya was brought back to Uganda nga political activist. Naye ba generals abasinga, they were given roles nti baddemu ba abducting Sam Mugumya. Naye Sam Mugumya yakomawo nga ayina amaanyi mangi, nga bw'olaba Muwanga Kivumbi n'abalala nga the whole community emulabanga hero kubanga yali alwanirira eddembe ly'abantu. Kakati when he was brought back in Uganda, Mugumya bamuleeta ne bamudropinga mu Mbarara ate n'atandika okulivinga free life bwe yatunyumiza eyo emboozi eyatuukako mu Congo. Kati mbuuza Congo baali bamusibye akola ki? Ekisookera ddala Mugumya baasooka ne bamwokyeza ddala wano ku lugalo. Yatulugunyizibwa nnyo era Congo yavaayo nga yatuukira mu Mbarara hospital ne basooka ne bamukolako bye bamukozeeko and it was fine. Mugumya bamureleasingamu amezi ngaaga 2 in 2004 on the streets of Mbarara. Mugumya was abducted. Up to now he has never been seen. Okujjako twalaba ka video ka Mugumya ng'ali mu basement, is in a very dirty area, ate nga balaga nti bamumenya amagulu n'emikono, ali mu bugaali bw'abalema. So political life eno n'okutulugunya abantu n'okubayisa obubi, to me bibeerawo. They are not a normal situation, it is not a good situation, but sometimes we should get used to bad situation nti bibeerawo kubanga there are some people who are given authority and people who are not given authority. In Uganda we have people who are allowed to have guns, and we also have people nga bwe bakusanga n'emmundu you be charged. Kakati omusango gwe bakwatira Dr. Kizza Besigye ekisookera ddala yali treason, ate bamukwatira mu ggwanga erya Tanzania because life esinga eya Dr. Kizza Besigye eri mu Tanzania kubanga Kizza Besigye ne President Museveni, they spent most of their times in Tanzania, not in Uganda. So that's why you see that people of Tanzania came out, went to the street, pleading for the life of Dr. Kizza Besigye to be free. Kubanga kati ali mu ddwaliro ne mukyala we wuuyo akaaba nti Besigye bamuwe chance asooka agendeko mu eddwaliro eritegeera okusobola kubeera nga asooka nazza obulamu rather than okubeera nga bamuteeka mu bulwaliro nga tewali ddagala. By the way, eddwaliro Besigye wali as per now there is no drugs, there are no medical equipments, temuli basawo. Just what they are doing is that they want Dr. Kizza Besigye to die nga kusinziira ku mukyala we byanyuma byayogera. Agamba nti just baagala omusajja ono asobole kubeera nga ava mu bulamu bw'ensi. It's like as if it's their intention. Naye God has still kept him alive. Atojjukira the last time he appeared for court trials, yasobola kubeera nga azirika. He collapsed in front of the chief judge, ate ne basobola kubeera nga bamuddukiza mu ddwaliro ly'e Mulago. Yamalayo weeks ntono ate ne bamutwala mu ddwaliro eriri of low class erya prison, of which it's not fair according to the level and standards of a Dr. Kizza Besigye. Naye akasitoro akatono nti Dr. Kizza Besigye was a political activist, ate led the major strike gye bayita walk to work. Walk to work brought a lot of changes in Uganda, ate yasobola kubeera nga etuusaako engeri gye batwalamu obulamu bw'Abannayuganda. Okay, with those few words, I would like to stop from here. Do what? Subscribe, like this video, and comment. Thanks. I sign out. Peace out.